Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. We got silver rejecting $115, gold touching $5,100 for the first time in history, and Bitcoin holding steady. Let's get right into it.
JJ's got the keys to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday, guys. Bitcoin currently trading at $88,260.87. Let's get into the chart, refresh our liquidation heat map, and see where we're at. Historic price action today on precious metals. Pretty crazy to witness. Watched it all unfold live. Was not expecting that harsh rejection, but if you guys remember, we had a point marked on the chart at $115 for silver that one of our fellow chat participants, Saeed, pointed out it was going to be a rejection point, and he literally nailed it perfectly. Almost couldn't be more perfect. So congratulations, Saeed, on that. Obviously, when you show up in chat, I'm gonna point that out a little bit more because that's pretty cool. But Bitcoin, as of right now, pretty quiet. Nice and steady, stable. Obviously, we'll see what comes this week. We got FOMC coming up on Wednesday, so volatility, I'm sure, will ensue. 87,332. And the bottom of our range, this goes all the way down to 85,613. And then the top, we've got 88,720. Hey, Saeed's here. What's going on, my friend? I was just talking about you. You literally nailed that call on silver. That's pretty cool. 89,976. I told my boss, I was like, one of my buddies said 115 rejection for silver, and I just so you're aware, I took a gamble. You inspired me to short silver at 113, and I'm up. So thank you for that. That's pretty cool. But Bitcoin right now, right in the middle of our range based on the liquidation heat map. Not too much going on. RSI got a bullish cross over the moving average where we have since bounced and continued to the upside. Looking good. We got a little bit of a double bottom action going on down here with that RSI. So we'll see if we results in further upside. It is a lower low, which we do like to point out whenever we do get a reversal. Majority of the time, it's a lower low. So we're kind of okay with that. Bitcoin dominance 59.73. Having trouble getting above 59.9 this time around. It is just accumulating or I guess chopping sideways in this range between 59.5 and 60. So we'll see if we end up breaking up or down from here. Down would be ideal, but we'll see what happens. Bitcoin, green dot of the momentum wave still in play. Let's see if we can get above 90K in the midterm and push back to hopefully towards 100 if we're going to be bullish. But like I said, we got to wait for FOMC, and I'm not entirely sure what'll play out based on the Fed holding steady, pausing rate cuts. I'm not sure what would happen. My mustache is bugging me today. ETH down 0.41% since the daily close, currently trading at 29.18 and 27 cents. We kind of got to bounce off of 2,800 here, which is interesting. Nice reversal. It has since recovered entirely, this big fat red candle. So we'll see if we continue to the upside from here. We are below a yellow trend line, which goes all the way back to November 2025. So a couple months old. Seeing us break below that and reject would be bad. So getting back above that would be an ideal scenario for potential further upside. Right now I'm calling for downside, but both sides, the signs are there for both bulls and bears, essentially. I do like this increased volume. That's nice. We got a green dot in the momentum wave pointing to the upside, negative money flow. So about 50-50 for upside or downside. I would be okay with just sideways for now, but like I said, I would prefer, for a bullish scenario, a break back above that yellow trend line. Time will tell. Solana is down 0.16% on the day. Slowing down here. Volume is really, really bad on Sol, especially this being Binance. That's pretty awful. Green dot on the momentum wave pointing to the upside. We got negative money flow, which has been negative since January 17th. So that flipping positive, that would be better than where we're at right now. I do have a poll for you guys, so let's get that going in the chat. Guys, sound off as you come in. Smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here as always. Thank you very much. We've got, where are you hiding from this volatility? We've got Bitcoin holding firm, gold, silver, buying the dip, stables, cash, waiting, and shorting everything. Oops. All right, ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the poll in the chat. I asked you guys, where are you heading from this volatility? Bitcoin holding firm, gold and silver buying the dip, stablecoins, cash waiting, or shorting everything? Let me know in the chat. All right, Solana. We talked about this neckline a bunch. We've gotten below it a bunch of times as well. So it's no surprise that we're below it again. I'm not a big fan of us having recovered and then got back here almost immediately after. So I would not be surprised if we do continue to be bearish for Solana to retrace down to $100, which, you know, it's a pretty hefty drop from where we're at right now, 20%. So if you can't stomach 20%, just keep an eye on it. And if you're in the middle of a trade, definitely set a type of stop loss. None of this is financial advice. Don't overexpose yourself. If you aren't investing more than you can afford to lose, then none of this should be bothering you. Total 3, down 0.00%. Not sure how that works. Currently trading at 836.63 billion. Not looking too bad. Recovered the dump from the other day. Holding steady right now. Obviously, just like everything else, a recovery would be preferred. Are we going to be in one of these scenarios where we got to do a little 3 hits to the downside and then a recovery? I feel like I could see that on a smaller scale, and then that maybe on the smaller scale, let's see, we do a V and then we do 1, 2, and then recover. Maybe that would hit our trend line right here, which is somewhat relevant, somewhat irrelevant, goes back, who knows, usually this low is pretty good. Goes back to October 23. Nope, this one goes actually back to August 24. So we'll see if we hold that or we break down. It's not, you know, I don't feel too strongly about that trend line, so it's not too important to me. What is important, though, is the $800 billion level. That is a nice psychological level, so holding that is important. If we lose that, could get spicy. Philly, a while ago, pointed out the October 10th wick being $766.8 billion on total 3, so we could go to that because we have not filled that wick technically, so that's definitely something that we need to take into consideration. ADA is up 0.06 since the daily close, currently sitting at 35.23. We have a bullish cross over the moving average in the RSI, struggling to get above 50 on the RSI. Also, on price-wise, struggling to get back above 36. We got a green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside. Just crawled out of oversold. Now it's smack dab in the middle. Money flow just crossed negative on January 15th, and we are still negative with potential for a positive cross anytime now, depending on the shift of liquidity. Snack is down 1.67% on the day, currently trading at 0.0006934. Is this going to recover or continue bleeding? Since we lost 7772, I'm probably looking for 6. Keep an eye on it, though. We do have a confirmed green dot on market cipher back here. Let's see what that entails, if that results in any significant upside or not. Volume's been pretty consistent across the board here. Bullish cross over the moving average in the RSI, point to the upside. We're sitting right around 40, so we'll see if that continues as well. Money flow's been negative since listing, it looks like, for MXC, so that's not really a concern. Midnight, down 0.62% on the day, currently trading in between 54 and 64. We got a nice accumulation range here, if you will. Problem is, we want to make sure we're accumulating to the upside, not to the downside. Sitting right at 0.06 right now, getting to 0.64 and breaking above that would be ideal. We do have a bullish cross over the moving average in the RSI, where we are continuing to grind up. We'll see what happens with that. Green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside as well. Money flow, I'm going to say money flows maybe... No, man, actually, I was going to say it's not relevant, but it does seem to be relevant. We got positive money flow the entire time the price was going up, and since it started going down, money flow's been negative, so it actually correlates. See if this ends up being some kind of a bowl shape with a recovery coming. Otherwise, a breakdown, we would look for 46.94 for potential support. XRP down 0.07% on the day, currently trading at 190.29. I like that this recovered very nicely. It took a little while, but it did recover. And a little while, you know, that's obviously recency bias, a little subjective there. I really like the volume increasing with that recovery. We got a bullish cross over the moving average in the RSI today, actually, so that's nice. Green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside, that's also very nice. Money flow's been negative since we started dropping in around January 14th. So a flip of the money flow would be ideal. We are still technically sideways right here. We've talked about this a bunch of times on different charts. The pattern has been downtrend, choppy sideways breakout, and then an eventual uptrend. As of right now for XRP, we are in the choppy sideways breakout phase if that pattern is to be believed. And we got potential tests of this upper trend line. So we'll see what ends up playing out. RSI right in the middle, sitting at 50. Same with the momentum wave on market cipher. We'll see if they can turn into any positive price action. We're going to skip around here unless you guys got specific charts you want me to look at. Let me know. Avalanche up 0.09% on the day, currently trading at $11.73. We got a lovely bounce off of $11.29. Almost textbook recovery off of that. And that was coming off of our big fat red dumpy candle on Sunday. So it's nice to see that recover. Not entirely. I guess technically the wick did recover, but we have since dropped a little bit from the top of this candle. Volume looks really good. RSI cross bullish over the moving average on today. And we are continuing to the upside. Sitting right above 40 on the RSI. Green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside on market cipher. Money flow is negative, but the trajectory as of right now seems to be up, which is good. Chainlink is up 0.08% on the day, currently trading at $11.96. Chainlink and Avalanche oddly almost synced up their price levels, which is strange because their market caps aren't too similar, which, you know, because of their supplies and stuff like that. $11.95 for a Chainlink price. We have a big fat dump, a nice bounce off of $11.50, a recovery, and I'm going to call it a settling, maybe a return to the mean. We got a lot of wicks right here, up and down, so the price is actually settling right around $12. We'll see if we can get above that and continue to the upside. RSI did get a bullish cross over the moving average today. Green dot in the momentum wave right at that bullish RSI cross of the move over the moving average. We crawled out of oversold on market cipher. Money flow still negative since Tuesday, January 20th. We'll see if that crosses anytime soon. Smack dab in the middle on our momentum wave on market cipher, and our RSI almost in the middle. We're sitting right at about 44.5. So we'll see if we get to 50 on that and where that takes us from that point forward. Gold up 0.45% today, had a beautiful explosive rally to the upside and an intraday reversal, now sitting at 50 or 5,030. And let's see, it did touch 5,100 for the first time in history, which is insane. It's holding above 4K. I'm sorry. Wow. Went back a little too far. Went back like 3 or 4 days. It's holding above 5K. The volume looks exquisite on this move. I have no words. This orange and yellow, these lines are not, I believe the orange is a trajectory line. That was us guessing what direction it was going to go, and that it was just going to follow this as a mean, like an average. But we've since broken above, and we've officially hit our $5,100 target. So I targeted $5,100 when we considered this a gigantic flag. And I said, oh, $5,100 is my frugal. Oh, actually, that's not true. My frugal target was 48. 51 was the very explosive, overly bullish target. And the even more overly bullish target for very, very long term is 5,800. I feel like it's just too easy to say it's probably going to hit that now. We're not anymore. We were incredibly overbought on the 4-hour RSI. We have since pulled back and calmed down from that. We do have a confirmed red dot on market cipher, which again, we had one back here. Nobody cares when that happens, apparently. When people buy gold, number go up, which is awesome. That's the opposite of Bitcoin. When people buy Bitcoin, for some reason, it crashes. So it's pretty cool to see physical gold outweigh digital gold. If you know, you know. 5,027 on the current price level. We'll see if this rally continues, or if we do actually get a proper pullback here and give the chart a little bit of a breather. Like I said, confirm red dot on market cipher from Friday. Red dot on the momentum wave pointing to the downside. Money flow has been positive for forever, it seems, so that's cool. We'll see if the RSI eventually gets a nice reset. We did have bullish div back here. We called this move with this bullish div. We said it's probably going to explode. That's exactly what happened. You got a pop, explosive, explosive, explosive move over and over again. Every single retrace met with immense support and a bounce continuing to the upside. That is what we like to see in bull market moves. Gold and silver are in a precious metals bull market, or utility metals, whatever you want to call it. I consider them precious metals because gold and silver are both used in jewelry. So Mr. Roberts said, hey JJ, hello all good people. What's going on, Mr. Roberts? How you doing, my friend? Mr. Roberts, how do you feel about gold and silver? Are you a purchaser of bullion, or are you just a jewelry guy? Silver's up 3.12% on the day. Saeed literally called the top. He said it's going to hit 115 and it's going to retrace. It hit 115 and it retraced. And I think I said it already. I was inspired to open a short at 113, which is printing so far. So thank you, Saeed. Obviously, if I get wrecked, that's my fault. It is a degenerate gamble. And as far as I'm aware, the retrace might have played out already. Which sucks because it's now after hours. And I don't think I can close my position until the morning open. So Shanghai might absolutely decimate my short position, which is fine. That's a risk I'm willing to take. But 107.99 on the current price of silver, continuing to the upside. We got a incredibly bearish reversal candle here. This might be called like a tombstone doji for all I remember. And that was followed by a super duper bearish engulfing candle, which might be engulfed with a bullish candle immediately afterwards. Time will tell. Like I said, we're at 108.24. The close price that we would want to see for that to engulf the bearish candle would be 111.1451. That would be bullish engulfing following that bearish candle. So RSI nice and reset. Saeed's target hit beautifully. We got a nice pullback to retest 104, it seems. We did not quite hit 100 for a retest, so I would have preferred that from a structural standpoint, but as of right now, silver and gold do not care about structure. They care about number go up. What if I said, I'm buying, what you selling? What am I? I'm selling nothing. I'm shorting silver, which is probably going to end in misery, just like my first attempt at $77. So, but I'm being transparent. I'm letting you guys know the gamble has been made. I do have several other gambles on Kalshi that I'm quite proud of. I am betting on no government shutdown. Look at that, 108, 109. Silver's pumping right before our eyes. If you guys haven't already and you are interested, you can check out Kalshi. Again, I do have to update this graphic. We both get $25 now when you sign up and you trade $25. Kalshi is a betting market, so you do have to treat it like gambling. But if you want to sign up and you want to help support the channel, sign up with my referral link in the description. CoinMarketCap, Fear and Greed, sitting at 29. If you guys haven't already, subscribe. We gained 2 subscribers during yesterday's stream, which is pretty cool. So I appreciate you guys. It's all about community, man. Join the Discord as well. It's completely free. It's a ton of fun. We share stock picks and stuff like that. It's a fun time, I promise. And I post a lot of the news articles before I go live, so that's also cool. What was that? I feel like I was going on my phone to show you guys something and I forgot. How you doing, Waterfly? Happy Monday, my friend. Why is JJ's face so big? I have a big head, man. I have a big head. I had to do the Kalshi plug. All right, 109.38. Yeah, I might get wrecked. My silver short might be. Maybe I should have just opened it and closed it like really quick. Anyways, silver looking good. DXY kind of exploded to the downside. We talked about this briefly yesterday, but this is a big deal. We've been watching this grind up, and it's actually been frightening. It almost passed 99.5. We got a little bit of a retrace, and then out of nowhere, we just got this huge dump, which I can't lie, I was not expecting this. I thought that we had our touch right here from this trend line. This trend line, in case you guys are not aware, this yellow trend line right here goes all the way back to 2011. This is a 15-year-old trend line. And that is actually good JJ math because my daughter was born in 2011, so it's really easy for me to remember. Look at that. April 2011 was the first touch. We got our second touch in December 2020. And our third is right now. So far we got, look, it's like a W right there, W right here, and this is 3 touches. So if we don't bounce off of this and we actually break down, it's going to get pretty spicy for the DXY, for the US dollar. So people are alleging that this is because the Fed is electing to support the Japanese yen for the first time this decade. They're basically, the idea is that they're going to sell the US dollar and buy the Japanese yen. It is about to get a bullish crossover the moving average and the RSI. I do find it interesting that it stopped perfectly right at that trend line though. Like this is a giga dump for the DXY. This is crazy. Out of nowhere, this thing just plummeted 1.4%. That's huge. That's a big move. You don't see those moves on the DXY. So this, I don't know what it's telling us, but it's very interesting to watch. Mr. Roberts said, I bought physical gold and silver for holding for my little ones. I should have bought stocks as well, but did not. I think they will correct this year soon and will short. Hello, Waters. Happy New Year, man. Ay, ay, ay. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee. In case you guys are not aware of the lore, for some reason, someone authorized a design change in the MicroStrategy logo to look like the Bitcoin B, but they did not choose Bitcoin yellow or orange or whatever. They chose like burnt orange, which looks like the Big B Coffee logo, which is why I call it Big B Coffee. Strategy, aka Big B Coffee, currently trading at 161.11. Now Vanguard on this gap actually did scoop up some strategy for the first time ever. So Vanguard, they kind of know what they're doing. You know, they got a lot more money than I do. Them scooping up strategy makes me think that it's potentially a good value for a purchase. If you're not exposed, then take that into consideration. The fractal right here, if you try to make it work, it doesn't. I'm pretty sure the fractal is just completely decoupled, and we're going to ignore it from this point forward. I'm going to make it a little bit more transparent, but I am going to leave it there because I like to be reminded of my previous mistakes so that way I can learn from them in the future. That was my bullish hope for a potential MicroStrategy recovery. Maybe it's like that, but still, it is pretty decoupled anyway, so I'm going to leave it where it was originally at. Hopefully, this thing can eventually recover. I feel bad for the holders. It just kind of seems like they're Michael Saylor's bank account for accumulating more Bitcoin, but that's totally fine. My argument here is, why wouldn't you just buy Bitcoin? I go by the Warren Buffett thesis. He never invested in a company that he didn't understand. I don't understand strategy, so I'm not going to invest in them. But I feel like if you do understand them and you do invest in them, could be a good payoff buying at $161 right now versus they were nearing like $500 last year. NASDAQ up 0.07%. Beautiful recovery from the NASDAQ. We have talked about this. That is what the blue trend line is. We called for our dip, and then right here we said we're going to recover very nicely, dip one more time, heading into early February, and then we're going to go on a crazy run, which we've already pretty much been on a crazy run. I don't know if you want to call this a bear market right here, but this is not number go up. This is number go sideways. Number go sideways usually results in a pretty hefty move later on. Whether or not that moves up or down, I have no idea, but I would put my money down on up, because down is down. So that's boring in my opinion. 25 at 782 or 778.2. We'll see where we end up. S&P 500 currently up 0.5% on the day, trading at 69.50 and 22 cents. Very, very close to more all-time highs, which is pretty epic. Like less than 1% away from all-time highs, I think. Let me do it one more time. Yeah, less than 1%. So we also have a hand-drawn fractal for this as well. So far, we've called pretty much one of the moves. We'll see if we end up doing the second move. This is AskFractal 3.0. AskFractal Senior and AskFractal 2.0 both played out beautifully. So this is where I self-proclaimed Fractal Farquad based on the AskFractal playing out beautifully. So if you guys are not aware of the lore, there you have it. Eventually I'll have somebody write a book, you know, and I'll call it the Fractal Farquad. We'll see how many people actually buy it. I think that'd actually be pretty funny. Okay, Bitcoin dominance 59.74. We are seemingly getting a bounce here. Nice wick, indicative of some buying pressure with dominance. Obviously, that's indicative of buy pressure for Bitcoin. Money's moving into Bitcoin more than altcoins. We'll see if that continues. News segment. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. Happy Monday. Excited for this week. We got FOMC on Wednesday. I got some very, very risky, degenerate Kalshi bets on whether or not we're going to see a rate cut. So, pretty cool. This one was awesome. Awesome CZ. Not that he's a great guy, but I like this speech. CryptoZaurus George posted this yesterday. CZ dropped a reality check. He says in December 2023, Binance saw $7 billion withdrawn in a single day, $14 billion withdrawn in 1 week. No issues, no freezes, no bailouts. There isn't a traditional bank on the earth that could handle that kind of outflow, and that's the difference between fractional reserve banking and fully reserved on-chain systems. Stress tests don't get clearer than that. Here's the issue, Mr. CZ. I respect and honor you, and as far as I'm concerned, that, you know, what you said there is entirely true and beautifully put. However, October 10th, your platform, Binance, had a glitch. There was a problem with something that caused mass liquidations in the market, and the market has been in complete shambles ever since then. So I don't know if he's trying to point out the fractional reserve benefits or the fractional reserve shortfalls compared to full backing, like one-to-one backing of cryptocurrency as like some weird coping thing, but I think he fumbled the bag pretty hard, or at least Binance did, and I'm pretty sure he still runs Binance, maybe from the background. Maybe that's a little conspiracy theory, but it is what it is. I don't disagree with him, but I do think that some of our issues that we're having in cryptocurrency right now definitely stem from that October 10th situation. Avalanche, first ever Avalanche ETF is now tradable on the NASDAQ, introducing AVAX from Van Eck. Very cool. Now, here's another thing that I want to point out. If these funds weren't going to at least make money from transactions, they wouldn't be putting time and effort into creating them. So, long-term vision, you're not going to start an Avalanche ETF if you don't think Avalanche is going to at least have some semblance of volume, buys and sells. Tom Salkscott said, fractional reserves bad, rugging the market makers good. Is it? I think it is. Because the market makers were propping up the market. The centralized market, at least. I don't know. I don't think that was a good thing. Because I'm not a market maker, and I feel rugged. All right. Gold reaches new all-time high of 51.05. Very cool. Silver reaches all-time high of 110. It's gone higher since then. Binance launches Tesla futures trading. Pretty cool. I do like stocks coming to cryptocurrency platforms. I'm excited for that because Robinhood sucks. I can't wait till I can actually make moves on the 24/7 market. Like once stocks are fully tradable on a 24-hour market, it's game over. I don't know. It's I think it's going to be a game changer. I'm excited, and I hope, like right now we got stocks and we got crypto, and they're two very different things. Stocks are, only open 5 days a week. Crypto's open 24/7. Are they going to converge into one and be like crypto is going to be slightly less volatile while stocks are going to be tradable 24 hours? Or is are stocks just going to come on chain, trade 24/7, and then crypto becomes really boring like the stock market? You know what I mean? I would rather it be split 50-50. So I am slightly concerned that crypto is going to get boring, but if that's the case, then that's the case. I told you guys about the book that I've been listening to, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. If you guys want to support the channel and buy it, there's a link in the description. I get kickback if you buy it through that. If you don't want a hardcover book and you just want to listen to it, I'm pretty sure it's free if you have Amazon Music, or it's, what's it called? The book one. I don't know. The book service that Amazon owns, Audible. You can listen to an audiobook for free, which is what I've been doing. But in that, he kind of points out that the way that people make millions of dollars for retirement is it's not sexy. Like, you don't have to be some genius trader like Bradley Cooper from Limitless. It's very simple. You just dollar cost average into something like the S&P 500 or the Van Eck entire stock market fund, and that average return of like 10-11% a year averaged over like the course of history will give you $1 million by 25-30 years if you're doing $200 a week, whatever. It's that simple. It's always the simplest way, and people always want to overcomplicate it and they want to try to get rich quick. So you got to make a decision. Do you want to risk huge volatility for a possibility of early retirement, or are you okay with just dollar cost averaging, working your 9 to 5 until you're 56 years old and retiring with $1 million? You got to make that decision. Tom Selleck said, LOL, of course it's not a good thing, but that's what CZ's basically saying. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Michael Saylor's strategy bought 2,932 Bitcoin, worth $257 million. Tom Selleck said, stocks being 24 hours, I bet will cause volatility when we all sleeping. I don't sleep. That's where you're wrong. I don't sleep. Sleep is for people who make money. Tom Lee's Bitmine buys 40,302 ETH, worth $117 million. Very cool. CEO Brian Armstrong says at some point all the haters will be using crypto and they won't even realize it. Here's my issue, Mr. Armstrong. If that's the case, then the prices aren't going to change. So your platform's not going to make any money. So I don't know. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. Tether buys 27 tons of gold in Q4 2025, now worth $4.4 billion. Wow, that's a lot of money. Tucker Carlson suggests Bitcoin could replace the US dollar as a global reserve currency, which is pretty trippy to think about. But I don't think that that's that outlandish. President Trump announces 25% tariffs on South Korean cars, pharmaceuticals, and lumber for delaying trade deal. He's getting impatient. Last month, Representative Kevin Hearn sold up to $500,000 worth of United Health stock. Today, the Trump administration proposed a flat Medicare reimbursement rates for insurers, causing UNH to crash over 10%. Hearn is a member of the House Subcommittee on Health. Huh, interesting. I remember reading about that. Marty Party posted, the combined market cap loss in today's gold and silver session was 1.8 trillion, almost exactly the total market cap of Bitcoin. That's pretty pathetic considering the fact that it's pretty much almost entirely retraced that move. So, I think my short's going to get wrecked. I'm at peace with that. This is pretty insane. I'm not going to lie. At least I didn't sell my silver. Bitcoin. Ooh, 88,403 and 73 cents. We're getting a little bit of green on Bitcoin here. That's like impossible. What? Marty Party posted update on his Wyckoff. I'm not going to read his whole thing, his whole spiel, but he's looking for, like I said, around 79, 78K. He's moved it a little bit again. Yeah, this time it's looking like 77 on January 30th, so we'll see. Kobe SC letter posted absolute insanity in silver market right now. Shanghai silver prices are now up to a record $124 an ounce as spot silver prices in the U.S. hit $108 an ounce. This means silver prices in Shanghai are trading at a $16 premium to Western prices. This is one of the biggest premiums on record. The physical silver shortage is growing. Yes, it absolutely is. Tom Sellerscoat said UNH took a huge poo-poo today. Yes, it is. They should probably get a colonoscopy. And they should pay for it too. Where is Bitcoin? Silver prices are now outperforming Bitcoin by one of their widest margins on record. In 13 months, silver is up 270% as Bitcoin has fallen 11%. This makes silver's market cap 3.5 times larger than Bitcoin. The world is waiting on crypto. No, it isn't. Nobody cares. You know what's going to be crazy? What if the Clarity Act passes like tomorrow or whatever day they rescheduled that, by the way. That was like supposed to happen today, which we knew it wasn't going to. They're like, it's not going to happen. Oh, it's going to happen on Tuesday. Oh, never mind. We rescheduled it. And everyone's like, what? They rescheduled it? Like it wasn't even scheduled in the first place. I don't know. It's a mess. It's Kwame said, question, are the gold and silver markets closed on the weekends? I believe so. Because they definitely didn't seem to move over the weekend. Monday, Sunday. Oh, I don't know, actually. That's a good... Nope. Friday. Okay, so they opened late on Sunday. So Friday, right here, they stopped trading at 1900. And then Sunday, they opened at 2300. So, yes, they are closed on the weekends. But physical, you can still buy and sell. So that's why we get gaps like that. That little gap right there is because over the weekend, you know, trades happen that were outside of the paper market, and we got a little spike in price, which is crazy because that dump right there actually filled that gap. That's pretty cool. It's not that they stop, it's just that the like ETFs for silver and gold don't trade on the weekends, which again is why you got the gap. Let's see. Breaking, the US dollar index extends losses to minus 1.5% this month, now at its lowest level since September 18th, after posting the worst year since 2017. The US dollar is off to another bad start. The market's message is consistent: own assets or be left behind. Tom Sellerscoat said, close because they stocks. The actual price will change over the weekend on physical. Yeah, that's why we get the gap. The gold and silver market itself is 24/7. This is just the stock market derivative, essentially, of gold and silver. Next, we've got gold's market cap officially hits a record $35 trillion, and silver's market cap hits a record $6 trillion. Gold and silver are now worth 9 times the market cap of Nvidia. Wow. I like that posted it with silver having 6.66% gains for the day. That's kind of crazy. Crazy choice. Silver hits record $110 an ounce, now up 54% this month. This puts silver 280% above where it was in January of 2025. I remember silver being like 23 bucks. That was like a year ago. Kobe ESC letter posted, breaking, the EU has opened a formal probe into Elon Musk's XAI over Grok deepfakes. I love that they don't know how AI works. While US tech giants are adding trillions in market cap per year, the EU is probing deepfakes. So here's my issue. I've like tried to make thumbnails and stuff for like random videos that I posted on X with like people in it. Like I think I was doing a Charles Hoskinson thing and like a bunch of other people that were affiliated with Cardano, and I like typed in their names and their Twitter handle as well, where they have pictures of themselves. And I, no joke, Grok gives me an image with a random Asian man who's not named at all, and then 2 Elon Musks. Grok cannot make people. Even if you name the person, you tell Grok, here's this person, Grok can't do it. So them investigating Grok deepfakes sounds like the goofiest waste of money and time. It makes me laugh. It really does. It's like when Congress like interrogated Mark Zuckerberg over Facebook, and that one guy who had like a southern accent, which just made it even more funny, had no idea how Facebook worked at all and was just asking questions. And poor Mark Zuckerberg, like, he can't be pretentious. He's like, Congressman, sir, I don't think that that's how that our site works. Like, he was trying so hard to be nice. Tishu said as the top close, we've got a CNBC, how to buy gold from Costco. What? Costco sells 24 karat 1 troy ounce bars. The standard unit of weight of precious metals online. Some U.S. warehouses brands include South Africa-based Rand Refinery and Switzerland-based PAP. Both highly regarded in the precious metal space. How much is 1 ounce of gold from Costco? How can you buy gold from Costco? This is an article that people actually click on. Pros and cons of buying gold from Costco. What are the cons? Shipping not available nationwide. Okay. No way to sell. No shit. No returns or refunds. Oh, interesting. Okay. No storage options. You know what? I accidentally... Now, obviously, this was a bad move because silver increased. I think it was like a Friday or Saturday. Silver was pumping, and I had bought some silver on eBay. The place that I bought it from was a big mint, but they had an eBay account. So I'm not going to condone this just because there's small sellers. Don't screw over small sellers. That's actually messed up. But it was a big mint, and I bought some silver. Price is pumping. I buy some silver, and then the price dumps. And I was like, oh shit, I just bought some silver, and now the price is down from what I paid. So I canceled the order. And it actually worked. So I'm just saying, if it's a big mint organization, which by the way, those are sold out now, so I technically didn't screw anybody over, and they hadn't even shipped it or anything like that, so it was whatever. But I did kind of accidentally figure out a way to maybe potentially game the system. I'm just saying, it is at their discretion though if they want to cancel the order for you. All right, silver 110.48.5, gold 5,066. Very cool. Bitcoin 88.429.26. Jim Cramer says he is a gold bug but not a silver bug. Cramer says he would try to cash in on family silver. Cramer also says that silver rally is getting ridiculous. That's adorable. Nvidia announces a $2 billion investment in CoreWeave. CoreWeave stock is up over 10% on the news. Very cool. Tom Silkscoat said close because their stocks. Have I read that already? India and the EU announced that trade talks are complete and a new trade deal will be announced tomorrow. Wow. Breaking, Microsoft announces the launch of its Maya 200 AI chip to reduce reliance on Nvidia. I feel bad for Jordan. Is that messed up? The chip is being produced by Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co., TSM, and is being launched in Microsoft data centers in Iowa. I like that they're like, we've developed this thing and we're launching it. And everyone's like, where can we get it? They're like, you can't. We're using it in our own data centers. You get 0. You have no access to this. Leave us alone. Shanghai silver prices soared to a record $127 an ounce, now up 127% since December 1st. Silver prices are quite literally moving in a straight line higher right now. It's 1979 all over again. That's freaking crazy. Tisha said, but you did not speculate on the question given in that article is from today. Is the top in for gold? I'm going to say no. Because people are panicking and everything looks like crap right now besides gold and silver and the stock market. I don't know. People, so there's two sides of the aisle. There's a bunch of people deep cut on the Jordan reference to the chip. I couldn't help it, man. It was in my brain. I'm like, damn. Could you imagine like you're scrolling around and then you see this and you read that and you're like, you could just get Vietnam flashbacks. It's literally like the everywhere I look I see her meme. It's so messed up. I think gold and silver are going to continue to outperform. I do. And I think that it's because of the deep uncertainty, whether or not it's political theater. That's besides the point. People are unsure, and they're going to continue to pile into safety. Gold and silver are a hedge. And just to prove that point, the DXY literally exploded to the downside. And it's going to get even worse if it breaks below this 15-year-old trend line. If the DXY loses this trend line, I'm going to make long-term targets right here. I've already guessed that I think gold is going to 58. 58's my target for gold, and it might actually get there. Oh my god, imagine if that got there right on time, like February 12th. You know how freaking badass I would feel? It's never going to happen, but that would be sick. Silver, on the other hand, my crazy guess for silver's next top is $145. I'm glad that I get the work done beforehand. That way I can just claim ignorance later. But there it is, 145. We'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. Complete coincidence, but I'll take it. $88,431.67. Here's my next question. Let's end the poll because I got another poll. Let's end the poll. We've got 50% of you guys. We got, let's see, 8 votes. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. If you guys are more active in chat, then we'll get more like volume with YouTube. They'll be like, oh, people like chatting in this, so we're going to show this to more people. So if you guys are more active in chat, that'd be cool. I asked you guys, where are you hiding from this volatility? 49% of you guys said Bitcoin, holding firm. Good answer. 25% of you guys said stablecoins, cash waiting. That's also a good answer. 13% of you guys said gold and silver, buying the dip. And 13% of you guys said shorting everything. I like all of those answers. Good answers. So my next question is, let's do a poll. Do you think when metals top, money will rotate into crypto? Yes or no? Because that's what I'm curious about. Not if. Because obviously they're going to top eventually. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to happen next month. I don't know if it's going to happen next year. I have no idea. But when it does happen, do you think that the money is going to rotate into crypto? It's Kwame said, just hit that like. Tom Sulk Scout said, we're going to have a blow off top and things haven't got it crazy enough yet. Yeah. It's Kwame said, it has to rotate. Does it? What if people just cash out and go spend it at like the dollar store on basting brushes, because I have to get one of those because I need a basting brush. Who doesn't have a basting brush? Like seriously. I opened my drawers the other day. I'm looking for a basting brush because I want to put some freaking olive oil on some pierogies. And I don't have any basting brushes. What? Kwame said, that's the only reason I didn't sell. Saeed said, live trades act as a catalyst to elevate the list of subscribers. That's fair. That is true. The problem is, I'm a big proponent of not forcing trades. And as far as I'm concerned, with the lack of volatility, there's nothing to trade right now. So I do apologize. I will eventually live trade. I promise. What's really cool, I don't know how this happened, but I do want to show you guys because I'm quite proud. Last Sunday's stream has 403 views, which is pretty sick. So I thoroughly appreciate you guys for that. And yesterday we got 192 apparently, which is hilarious because I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. Obviously, you can see the thumbnail looks very, very similar. I looked at the description for this one, and it was literally the exact same state of the market as yesterday. So I just copy pasted the entire description. I changed the dollar amount because this one Bitcoin was like 90K or 93K or something like that. This one obviously was like 88 or something like that. That's the only thing I had to change. Everything else was the same. I was like, damn. So clearly I did something right. The YouTube algorithm likes those words. That's for sure. Tom Silk said, go grab a paintbrush from the garage and done. You know what I ended up using? My mom's a dental hygienist. We have like 10,000 toothbrushes. So I opened up a new one. And I'm sitting there like toothbrushing olive oil on my pierogies. Like, I'm not joking. That's actually what I've done. I thought about a paintbrush, but nobody, my fiance is the one with, I was like, do we have a paintbrush? She just didn't answer me. I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to grab a stupid toothbrush. Okay. Shanghai silver prices. Yep, we read that. GameStop stock surges over 5% as Michael Burry announces he's been buying the stock. So the thing about that, obviously, we like GameStop. GameStop like spawned a huge movement into cryptocurrency eventually. That happened last bull market. As far as I'm concerned, that's what spawned last bull market. Michael Burry, however, kind of a one-trick pony. One-hit wonder. You know what I mean? He did the Big Short. Cool, good for him, whatever. 2008. Well, I don't know. I don't even remember when it was. That was his thing. That's about the only thing he's gotten right. He told you guys to sell. He's literally told everyone, he said sell. That was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Since then, the stock market has hit new all-time highs, probably like over 100 times. And we're at like historic valuations. So Michael Burry kind of looks silly. So him buying GME might be maybe his redemption attempt. But it's still, I don't really want to do anything that he does. He's going to be right eventually. It's just kind of goofy. Tisha said, let's see in a few weeks to months. What, you think gold and silver's topped? Let's see. Gold and silver number go up. Number do go up. It might be a top, man. I don't know. The uncertainty, unless Trump makes some changes and starts, making people feel a little more comfortable, I think shit's going to continue to hit the fan. But right now, as far as I'm concerned, they're going to lose midterms, which sucks because I have a bet that they're going to win midterms. But as far as I'm concerned, right this second, if we held midterms, the Republicans would lose. And I don't know, a lot of people are unhappy. There's too much uncertainty. It just seems silly. Mr. Roberts said, I don't think institutions holding gold will suddenly think Bitcoin is a good idea, especially if they're selling gold to weather a recessionary environment and keep afloat. Exactly. All right, Bitcoin actually pushing up here, 88,687 and 5 cents. Very cool. Gold, 5,062. Silver, 110 and 22 cents. Very cool. So yeah, GameStop pumps 5% after Michael Burry announces he's been buying the stock. Good for him. Tishu said, it's impossible to know right now. I know, but the chart looks insane. Oh, it looked insane at $77. It looked insane back here. This was Christmas. Like, if you zoom out to like a properly weighted chart, it is in fact going straight up. Like back here when you were properly looking at this down here, you were like, oh my gosh, look at silver went from $30 to $52. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a ton of money going into silver's market cap. And then it retraces, does a little cup and handle kind of triangle thing, explodes, done same thing over and over again. It's going straight up now. There's like the parabola it literally can't get more vertical, especially right here, out of nowhere, out of absolutely nowhere. Breaks $100 instantly, 115. How's platinum doing? Let's go see. I might have just messed up my mic, snapping my finger like that. Ooh, platinum looks really good too. I was looking at Let me see. If you guys are ever interested in just aping into precious metals like an idiot, eBay is really good. Really good. I don't have any kind of referral for that, but platinum bar on eBay, you get a 5 gram bar for $495.16. Wow. What about a 1 gram? 1 gram platinum bar for $124.46. I like the stupid little 1 gram bars, little Valcambi bars. I don't know why. They're like the goofiest little things, but I really enjoy them. My brain is thoroughly tickled. I'm not joking. Eventually, I would like to have like a little shelf in the back, like in the background back here. I'm gonna put my stupid copper bar up there, and there's other bars that you can buy. I want to get an aluminum one. I want to get an aluminum one. I want to get a titanium one. I want to get an iron one. Just all these stupid precious metals in the background. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun. Tisha said Tino thinks copper number will go up. I like that. Ow! I just hit my finger on the desk. I like that because I just bought a pound of copper. So that's cool. I'll probably continue to buy it. We are allegedly entering a level of like historic, unprecedented copper shortage, and there's no way to like fix that like quick enough to meet our demand that we have for copper. So copper makes the most sense. Get a uranium one. I can get that whatever that weird green glass is that everyone talks about, like the vintage green glass that's supposedly like oh shoot, what's the word? Radioactive glass. Okay. Breaking U.S. natural gas prices extend gains to 40% on the day, now on track for one of the largest daily gains in history. Natural gas prices are now up 240% since January 16th. That's like gas prices rising from $3 a gallon to $7.20 a gallon in 5 trading days. Commodities are on fire. I swear, guys, it's like the coldest it's ever been in my state, and I always prided myself on having a gas heated apartment. I'm like, gas is quite nice. It's very cheap. It's not cheap anymore. If I get my gas bill for this month and it's more than like $40, I'm gonna be pissed because it used to be cheap as hell. Like so cheap that they actually signed me up automatically to bill me like once every 6 months because it wasn't worth them getting the small increments of money. They're like, well, you don't have to pay your bill for like 6 months because, you know, by the time it racks up, it's going to be like maybe $100. I was like, okay, that's cool. If I get like a $40, $50 bill for 1 month for my gas, I'm going to be very, very butthurt. It's official. Silver prices are now up 13% on the day and set to post the largest daily gain since 2008. This comes after the commodity had already risen 255% in 12 months. Silver demand has become so strong that physical shortages are being reported across various markets. In Shanghai, silver prices are up $26 an ounce in 48 hours to a record $134 an ounce. This was 7 hours ago, by the way. As we have been waiting for months now, asset owners, or as we've been warning for months now, asset owners are the only winners in this economy. Derek said, sup JJ, what's going on, Derek? Cheers, my friend. It's Kwame said, 100 every 6 months is crazy. I pay close to that every month. So the reason I'm so lucky is because I have an apartment like in the middle of the building. All my neighbors are old as well. The lady that lives next to me that way is never here. I'm convinced that she just used the apartment as a storage unit, which is sick. So I have somebody over there, somebody back there, somebody back there, and somebody up there. I have one exterior wall, which sucks because there's not enough natural light. But the way the apartment's formatted don't really matter. I am insulated. I have to heat my apartment for one exterior wall. The rest of the apartments literally insulate my apartment. So my heat is stupid cheap. Tom Selleck Code said PALL, please. Absolutely. Mr. Robert said, JJ, I can get the machine shop to make you some different metal blanks if you want. We'll have some pretty interesting metals in the nuclear space that are fun. I mean, I'm down, man. Whatever you got, hook me up. Tell me what you need. Okay, PALL. This guy? Palladium? 178.47. Is this what you're talking? Confirm that this is what you're talking about before I start doing TA, because yesterday I went into something that somebody was like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. And I'm like, okay, well, you get TA on it anyways. Oh my goodness. Wow. That volume looks, look at the volume gain. That's so, this is beautiful right here. When you see the price increase and you're like, oh, cool, whatever. And the volume does the exact same thing. That's awesome to see. Love to see it, man. Perfect structure. Chef's kiss for sure. Let me know, Tom Select Scoped. Till then, though, I will continue. Silver prices Shanghai. Yep, asset owners are the only winners. Breaking. U.S. data center construction jumped 18.5% year over year in October 2025 to a record $42 billion annualized rate. Okay, that is the right one. Cool. This is just $3 billion below the $45 billion spent on office buildings. This comes as spending on data centers has tripled since the ChatGPT launch in November 2022. Daily cup and handle. All right, we'll check it out. Over the same period, office building construction has declined 40%. Wow. At this rate, data center construction will surpass office building construction levels as early as this year. AI is redefining the U.S. economy. Here's my thing. This chart is very, very daunting because office buildings are not being constructed. They're being replaced with data centers, which means, like metaphorically and literally, they are replacing you with a data center. Well, we don't need a building full of office workers anymore because the data center is our building full of office workers. My RAM, guys, I don't need to hire staff for my YouTube channel anymore. I have staff right here. Random RAM flex on camera. Okay. Daily cup and handle on PALL. Let's go take a look. Palladium. We are on the daily. Very nice. I see it. Is this it right here? That break. I do see it. Looks very nice. You could even zoom out even further. I mean, it's just kind of repeating the same pattern, which is kind of cool, but it is consolidating within these repeated patterns. You have, I'm just going to call it a cup. 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't know, maybe that's what it is. Like you got a big one right here, cup and handle, and it can be on an angle. And then you got a smaller one right here, cup and handle. Or if you don't want to do that, and maybe you don't like the angle, then you just zoom in, and you got cup and handle right there. Textbook. I like it. I really like the volume. 183.77. Question is it going to continue? If this rejection holds and you do continue to the downside, then you do technically have bearish div on your RSI, so keep an eye out on that. With that, you also have a confirmed red dot on Market Cipher. Again, I don't know if Market Cipher even applies to stocks, but we're going to read it anyways. Confirmed red dot, which the red dot has kind of been meaningless on everything but crypto, so do keep that in mind. Volume looks really, really good on this move. You want to see the volume increase with the price because otherwise a low volume pump is really, really easy to crash down, essentially. You got a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI on Monday, Tuesday last week. That crossed, retested, confirmed as support, and continued to the upside. Looking good. Green dot in the momentum wave, point to the upside. Just crossed over bought, so getting a little spiced up, but money flow's been positive since July of 2025, so you look good. You look good. See if it continues. Obviously, 200 is going to be a big psychological level. Make sure 175 holds. That's actually what's crazy is 175 being a big psychological level. Looks like your breakout for your cup and handle. Cup and handle. That was basically that neckline. So see if you end up retesting that 175 level and then use that as a springboard to break above 200. That'd be pretty cool. Reject 200, springboard continuation. Maybe it'll happen in a shorter time frame like this. Yeah, see if that happens. Looks good though. I like it. Bitcoin, $88,617. Daily looks nice. 4 hour. Let's go check the regular, good old-fashioned, boring fear and greed index. 29. We are still in fear. Yesterday we were at 20. Extreme fear. Ooh. Why did we climb out of it so fast? I really don't like this one, man. It really grinds my gears. Look at this though. It really, like, I cannot look at it without just seeing this. And this is that first retrace from way back when. It's not, everyone thinks that we did the double top already. Technically, we've only done one top if you go off of the fear and greed and it mimicking that exact same price action. Now, if you go off of here, I think that this right here is that secondary, yeah, May through November of 2022. So that's up to you. Entirely up to you. Should we end this poll? 8 votes. I asked you guys, do you think when metals top, money will rotate into crypto? We got 8 votes. 75% of you guys said yes. I'm going to end the poll. Let's do another one. Another poll. Do you think... Actually, let's make it... We're going to get a little bit political. Who do you think will win midterms? Right, left, both, split, nobody, we're all losers. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the poll in the chat. We're getting a little political, getting a little spicy here. I, for one, do not pick sides because I think sides are silly. We're all doomed at the end of the day. Whichever side dooms me less for the time being is the side that I'm going to pick at the moment. They all look like crap. We either get fraud or my bags being lit on fire and filled with poop. I don't like either of those things. So both of those result in me losing money. One of them via taxes, the other one via poop. So not a big fan of either. Let's see. Bitcoin chilling. Continuing. Breaking. The S&P 500 measured in ounces of gold is down to 1.39, the lowest since 2014. This ratio has fallen minus 1.26 or 48% since 2022 as gold prices have outperformed the index. Over this time, gold prices have rallied 180% when the S&P 500 has gained 45%. Historically, every time this ratio has fallen below 1.5, market volatility increased materially. Gold can see the future. It's Kwame said, whichever side makes me the most money. Exactly. So here's my thing. Here's my conundrum now. Trump's first term. We got nice stimmy checks. We had was the bull market during Trump's term? 2021, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. No? No. Whoa. Okay. So, Trump, we had stimmies. Very nice. Love me a good stimmy. Obviously, the left kind of, kneecapped his stimulus. And then Biden was like, I'm going to give you the rest of that 2K. Which was cool, because we got money from Biden. Cool. Great. Now, so far, as far as right and left go, I technically, personally, have benefited more from the right or the left. When Joe Biden forgave everyone's student loans, I had about $14,000 in student debt from a school that had since closed, bankrupt, gone, completely dissolved, and I could not transfer my credits anywhere. So back in 2012, I had filed for student loan forgiveness, and probably took 4 or 5 years. They were like, no. We looked in, no. And they didn't actually look. So when allegedly the Biden administration went back and they were like, oh, there was no due diligence done on any of these, so we're just going to blanket forgive anyone who asked back then. And I fell into that. So far, as far as like net positives, I have gotten more money from the left, which means the right has to catch up. If Trump does something that results in me being able to buy a home, then he will for sure be in the lead. But as of right now, Sleepy Joe Biden is my man. As far as money goes, monetary value, Made more money off that guy. But we'll see. Trump is the crypto president, and that's that. As far as crypto goes, though, I did make more money so far under Biden than I did Trump. But during Trump's first term, I wasn't really in crypto that much. So Mr. Robert said, okay, LOL, since the GOAT brought up cup and handles, JJ, can you throw a little TA on ooh to see if cup and handle is about to play out there? Yes, I absolutely can, my friend. Ooh. Energy Fuels Inc. Bam. Let's go to the daily. We do got a lovely little retrace, a 8.51% candle on this. I wonder why it dumped so much. Like with gold and silver. That's very, very interesting. 23.33. It was incredibly overbought on the daily time frame, which is very interesting. Now, where is the handle? Is that the handle? That's not the handle, right? Oh my gosh, I think it is. Do we go to the monthly? Is it a monthly cup and handle? Are you crazy? It might be. Is that what you're talking about? Holy crap. I guess let me go to the weekly and just really zoom out. I think that 2307 is what we were looking at for that, right? Because you got a couple of tops right there to kind of make it make sense. So let's go back to the daily. Zoom in here. Technically speaking, if you're not going off of that $23 level, then I'm just going to go right here where these candle bodies are, 2682-ish. You want to get above that because you got a harsh rejection based on this previous rejection right here. So finding support at 23 and using that to break above 2682 would be ideal. Obviously, like I said, you are overbought, or you did just cross bearish over that moving average on the RSI, so continued downside is a possibility. Next psychological level is definitely going to be 20 as far as the price goes. Daily handle is not fully formed yet, but I still think it will. Okay, I like that. So you're looking for a possibility of this then, right here. That actually kind of checks out with my $20 support level as well. So let's go put a little temporary $20 situation here. And let's see if, no, that's not what I wanted. If we end up doing this, one of these, and then that'll be your cup and handle. I like that because that gives you, you know, your little recovery, your little pit stop right here to refuel, get some new tires on that bad boy, and you springboard up. Your scaffolding has been built, and you can continue to transcend the stratosphere. I like it. We got our bullish div as well, which we talked about. That is still technically in play from that point right there. Whoops. Bullish div, which did result in upside. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Now, technically, if that is a harsh rejection and it stays like that, that price is higher and your RSI is lower. So you do technically have bullish div leading into bearish div, which we've seen before. That is usually the start of our old school pressure cooker. If you guys were here way back in the early days of the stream, you'll know what I'm talking about. We have bearish div pushing into bullish div, pushing into bearish div, pushing into bullish div, which usually results in a parabolic move to the upside. But it has to do it twice. That's why this is here. Bearish, bullish. Now you have bearish and hopefully leading into bullish, which will eventually lead to a monstrous rally to the upside based on nonsense from, like I said, the early days in the stream. Mr. Barber said, I'm likely going to buy the crap out of that $20. Well, I'll actually DCA again as usual. I can respect it. I like it. So yeah, let's see what happens with this. I'm curious. I actually bought, if you guys are active in the Discord, you will know, I bought some Ocean Power Technologies. It is a microcap, less than $100 million market cap. Maybe not quite anymore. I think they pumped quite a bit. They partnered with Anduril. If you guys are familiar with any kind of military anything, Anduril is a big name right now. The guy behind it, he like created the Oculus or something like that. And then he was a big video game guy and eventually went into defense. and it's a private company right now. But he was on Rogan, and they had like this helmet. He's like, check this out, and he showcased this crazy military helmet where you can literally like see through walls and shit. It's insane. And I think that the helmet like uses data communicating with a drone, and it was the coolest thing. And it looks like stuff that we should have in 2026, but maybe they're keeping secret. But I don't know. He showcased it on Joe Rogan. It was pretty sick. They have some kind of a rumored partnership with OPTT. It might not even be rumored. It might be confirmed now. But Ocean Power Technologies is providing some kind of hardware for the Navy or something like that. And I want in, so I bought some. Shares were super cheap. Obviously, it's gapped up tremendously from that deal announcement, so I might have bought the temporary top, but we'll see what happens with it. Bitcoin looks really good right now. 88,605.07. Let's get back above 90K, man. Back above 90K would be so cool. I do like measuring things in gold. Suddenly, it gives us something different to look at. I feel like we've been looking at the same charts for forever. All right, global investors are piling into Brazilian stocks. Brazilian stocks recorded 2.3 billion in foreign inflows so far in January, the most in a single month since December 2023. This is more than double the prior 7 months combined. As a result, the Brazilian, above SPA stock index rallied 9.7% in US dollar terms last week, the best performance among world major equity markets. Furthermore, Brazil's ETF EWZ, which covers 85% of the nation's stocks, is on track for its biggest monthly inflows since September 2014. These inflows have led to the creation of new ETF shares, pushing the total outstanding to 230,000 shares, just shy of an all-time high. What is happening in Brazil? Never go up. This is one of the things that the guy in the book, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins, that's one of the things that J.L. Collins talked about, is developing countries. They're more risky, but the reward is significantly higher. So investing into a place like Brazil can be super duper lucrative. So definitely something to take into consideration. United Health, UNH, falls over 8% after new report says the U.S. will hold payments to private Medicare plans flat next year. Dang. In one of its largest intraday reversals in history, silver has completely erased its 14% gain and turned red on the day. Silver just erased $900 billion of market cap in 90 minutes. Damn. Breaking, President Trump increases tariffs on South Korea to 25% and says the country is not living up to its deal with the U.S. Let me just read the whole post. He said, our trade deals are very important to America. In each of these deals, we have acted swiftly to reduce our tariffs in line with the transaction agreed to. We, of course, expect our trading partners to do the same. South Korea's legislature is not living up to its deal with the United States. President Lee and I reached a great deal for both countries on July 30th, 2025, and we reaffirmed these terms while I was in Korea on October 29th, 2025. Why hasn't the Korean legislature approved it? Because the Korean legislature hasn't enacted our historic trade agreement, which is our prerogative. Prerogative? Is that a word? I am hereby increasing South Korean tariffs on autos, lumber, pharma, and all other reciprocal tariffs from 15% to 25%. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. Now, we talked about this. Getting stuff done in a timely manner. That is how I feel about the U.S. government shutdown situation. I think if they're going to, diddly-dally around and mess with people's paychecks, regardless of who those people are, I think that they should also lose their paycheck. Listen, if you want to dick around and you're like, oh, we can't come to an agreement, so we're going to shut down the government and we're just going to keep playing chess in freaking Congress every single day or whatever the hell they do, they need to also not get paid. They should make it so they don't get paid at all. Every day there's a government shutdown, they're never going to receive money for that. All the other employees can get back pay, but the people who are responsible for the vote should get $0. Every day, $0. And then when you approve the budget, you still don't get paid for those days because it was your freaking fault. Drives me crazy. I want accountability in the government so bad. Bitcoin looking really good here. 88,768 even. Let's go check on gold and silver. Gold, $5,058.47. Silver, $109.88. Very cool. The Korean stock market is on fire. Investors have bought a net $96 billion worth of Korean stocks since 2019. Since 2025 alone, net purchases reached $35 billion, or 36% of total. South Korea has been the best performing world market over the last year, gaining 99% during this time. This has been fueled by AI-driven demand in the tech-heavy market, with Samsung and SK Hynix, the two most valuable stocks, rallying 186% and 287% respectively. As a result, the entire market has surged to a record $3.1 trillion in value, nearly matching Germany. South Korea has become a global AI powerhouse. Damn. Okay, chat's all caught up. Interesting. We got 4 votes so far in the political poll. I said, who do you think will win midterms? So far, 50% of you said the right, 25 said left, 25 said both/split. Nobody said we're all losers. Thank you guys. I agree. I don't think we're losers either. Adam, I don't know where I got Sam from. That S from silver threw me off. Sam, I said it again. Adam Kobe SE said silver just posted 2 4 sigma moves in the same day, rising and falling 14% in a matter of hours. A 4 sigma significance is the 0.003% likelihood of a statistical fluctuation. That has just happened twice in one day. Wow. Europeans are piling into U.S. stocks. European investors now own a record $10.4 trillion in U.S. stocks. Ownership has surged 4.9 trillion, or 91%, over the last 3 years. Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, and the Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, and the UK now hold 5.7 trillion in U.S. equities, or 55% of total European holdings. By comparison, the rest of the world holds 10.9 trillion. In other words, European investors now reflect 49% of all foreign holdings of U.S. equities. Europe's exposure to U.S. stocks is at unprecedented levels despite the trade war. That's pretty cool. I'm just saying. Cointelegraph. Fact. China is now just 4,012 Bitcoin short of surpassing the U.S. in government Bitcoin holdings. Then we got the UK, Ukraine, Bhutan, El Salvador, and then everything else is almost zero. Yeah. Wow, that's actually kind of crazy. Talk about being ahead of the curve. Damn. UK regulators approve Valor's Bitcoin and ETH physical staking ETPs, exchange traded product, for retail trading on the London Stock Exchange. Very cool. Strategy bought 2,932 Bitcoin worth $264.1 million. They now hold 712,647 Bitcoin. Zach XBT says 0.6767 ETH in stolen U.S. government funds was sent to his public wallet by John Lick. I don't know if you guys followed along with this. I don't know if we reported on it yesterday. Apparently, I think $40 million worth of Ethereum was stolen from the U.S. government by like somebody's son, which is kind of crazy. So, I don't know. It's crazy that it's mocking Zach XBT. NVIDIA has invested $2 billion into CoreWeave. We went over that. Very cool. BlackRock files S1 for its iShares Bitcoin Premium Yield ETF, per Eric Balchunas. The U.S. Senate Agriculture Committee has rescheduled its crypto market structure markup to Thursday, January 29th, which is going to be literally the day after the Fed FOMC, which is where we're going to get rate cut announcement. Are they going to pause? Are they going to hike? Are they going to cut? What are they going to do? That's a good poll. Should we do that poll next? I think most of you guys probably just think that they're going to pause, I'm sure. It'd be pretty cool if they cut, though. Around 149 million user credentials were exposed in a massive info stealer data dump, including roughly 420,000 Binance-related logins. The leak originated from malware-infected devices, not a Binance breach. So, if you guys are on Binance at all, you definitely should change your passwords. Bitmain's ETH staking jumps to 2.01 million ETH after adding 171,264 Ethereum. Very cool. SEC CFTC joint meeting on crypto coordination will now be held Thursday, January 29th. A lot of crypto stuff happening that day. Bitcoin miners cut production amid a U.S. winter storm with hash rate down 32% in 3 days. Kwame said, I am thinking we're getting a gut. Really? That's actually crazy. I bet that we're getting a cut. And if I win, I get like minimum. I think my smallest win would be like $600. I may have a gambling addiction. Kwame said, a cut, then silver and gold dump. Ooh, that would be super interesting. You said, remember I called it? I'm totally okay with that. Where do I find my, there we go, my portfolio. I said no, government shutdown on Saturday. That'd be pretty cool as well. If I win that, I only get $40. But still, right here. Fed decision in January. Yes, cut over 25 basis points. That was a 1% chance. I had to take that one because the payout's $935. On the off chance, man, you never know. And then, yes, cut 25 basis points. If I win that, the payout is $643, which is also pretty sick. So, obviously, it's a huge gamble. I'm taking it as a gamble. I'm excited. Next, we've got, this one was really exciting. Coinbase officially launches copper and platinum futures on Coinbase derivatives. They know what's coming. Tether bought 27 tons of gold in Q4 2025, bringing its gold holdings to about 4.4 billion. I wonder how much profit they have now, because they do, I think they bought more gold than anyone last year, which is crazy. Microsoft launches the Maya 200 AI chip. It's in-house AI chip rolling out in Iowa data centers and built by TSMC. Very cool. VanEck launches its Avalanche ETF. VAVIX. Now live and officially trading on NASDAQ. Polymarket traders are pricing a 99% chance the Fed leaves rates unchanged at its January meeting, now just 2 days away on January 28th. That would be the biggest upset if they actually change rates. The Clarity Act seeks to clarify U.S. crypto regulation by dividing oversight between the SEC and CFTC. Oh, of course, they're going to employ both of them. So we have to spend twice as much tax money to get one thing done. Latest. Even though Visa and MasterCard can each run 130 plus crypto programs, Visa captures 90% plus of on-chain card volume thanks to early infrastructure partnerships. Damn. I used to love MasterCard. I remember seeing their commercials everywhere. I'm a bit of a brand loyalist, so Visa kind of irks me a little bit. Insight. Stablecoin market cap is falling. A bearish signal as some investors exit crypto during the correction while precious metals surge, according to CryptoQuaint analyst. That's pretty crazy. I'm fully expecting stablecoin adoption to continue, so I really think that this is going to have exponential growth to the upside, but actually seeing it dip is kind of crazy. That just means that they have to burn it because people are full on exiting the market more than people are entering, which is spooky considering stablecoins are being used for more than just crypto. Coinbase launched an independent advisory board to assess future quantum computing risks to crypto security. I think we talked about this a couple days ago, but it's pretty cool. Had to bring attention to it again. As Europe enforces MiCA and the U.S. delays crypto rules, firms face regulatory gaps and shifting capital flows. Crypto X is a joke. Stock Money Lizards shared his opinion. He said, stop pushing and buying obvious scams like this. Solana will go back to double digits until this issue is solved. The use case meme coins will die out. My opinion. We got, what was it? Make Penguin great again? Apparently they rugged. That's kind of crazy. Just in. Oh yeah. This is a rumor that's floating around. Obviously, again, I don't pick sides, but I'm going to read this. Obviously, it's one-sided. G Immortal said, sup, JJ? What's going on, G Immortal? Eric Daughtry said, Democrats are furious after learning the government shutdown plans are futile. ICE has full funding anyway, no matter what they do. The big beautiful bill gave ICE $75 billion over 4 years. Republicans are moving forward with the vote. Democrats are going to try to cause a partial government shutdown anyway and will only impact other departments. You lose Chuck Schumer every time. The Senate GOP could pummel the Democrats by nuking the filibuster and doing whatever they want with appropriations. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know anything about those details, but I thought that the ICE thing was interesting because that was kind of the Democrats' supposed leverage, and allegedly that's not going to be an issue. So hopefully the government doesn't shut down. That would be ideal. Gold and silver just wiped out 1.7 trillion in market cap in 90 minutes. That's the entire market cap of Bitcoin erased in an hour and a half. That's freaking crazy. The US dollar is breaking. Number go down. Number go down. Whales are buying Bitcoin like never seen before. Something big is coming, or something is coming big time. So every spike that we've seen, this is 2021 bull market right here. We had a huge spike right before the actual rise. Let me actually connect a piece of paper. It was just before 2021, like December 2020. Huge spike in whales purchasing Bitcoin, and then the price exploded. We're getting that spike again, that parabolic, almost straight vertical move. I'm just saying, if you needed a sign, that seems like an awfully good one, in my opinion. Bitcoin ETF sustained reversal of outflows to inflows seems imminent. This is from Eric Zhu. Very cool. It does actually look like we're getting to the point of no return. Ryan S said, "Oh yeah, JJ's back. I never went anywhere. What do you mean?" G Immortal said, "Pepe ETF." Oh, that would be so sick. Dude, when we start getting meme coin ETFs, that might be time to sell. I'm just saying. Pepe looking good though. Look at that. Huge parabolic rise. Double top rejection at 663. Held support for a moment at 590. Lost that though. And we seemingly found our support at 457. Even better at 5. And we're above 5, which is sick. We're at 516. But he said, remember when silver was like $20? Yeah, that was literally like a year ago. That was like 1 year ago, man. Let's go see. Silver, we got 33 bucks, March of 2025. Let's go back to January. January of 2025. Oh my God, 29, 30 bucks. Yeah, wow, that's so crazy. January 2025, 1 year ago, you could have bought silver for $30. It is now $111. That's over 3x, man. Look at that. That is a straight line up. What's the difference here? There's no difference. That is a straight line up. Whew. Number go up, man. Talk about number go up. Wow. On the daily, it looks even more crazy. I thought maybe it'd look a little bit better on the daily. It looks more insane. 4-hour time frame. Almost bullish engulfing. So close. So close to bullish engulfing. Bitcoin up 0.38, 88, 685 and 14 cents. Fahid said, where did the money come from? That's the interesting question. There's never been any shortage of money. We've seen the M2, global M2 money supply, and the U.S. money supply has been increasing substantially. The Fed did just end quantitative tightening, though. And they're technically, we got like diet quantitative easing, or quantitative easing light, if you will. So that's a thing. Maybe that's where the money's coming from. But the global money supply has been increasing substantially, so there's never, I've always thought it was funny when people are like, where's the money going to come from? The money, there's so much money in the world. There has to be an incentive. There's an incentive to buy gold and silver right now, especially now. People like buying green candles. There are so many green candles on gold and silver. People are like, oh my gosh, gold and silver only ever go up. I'm just going to buy gold and silver. And then eventually that's going to be incorrect. But for now, in a bull market, you buy green candles, you still make money. Gold and silver are definitely in a bull market. And so is the rest of the stock market. Insider posted Bitcoin officially entered the complacency stage. It's time to sell your altcoins and prepare to buy the dip. I disagree. I don't think we're in complacency. I think we're far past that. If we are, we crossed below the bull market support band, so I do think we are in a bear market. We're either in anxiety or denial. Denial actually fits the most if we're like in this dumpy portion, which I don't even know if we're there. We might be in this sideways thing. According to the argument from this realized cap for new whales, we might be seeing a new all-time high soon. Wouldn't that be crazy? I'm not gonna say that it's going to happen. Obviously, we're in a bear market. We're in the middle of a bear market right now. But if it started in October and the 4-year cycle is still intact, bear market only lasts for 12 months. November, December, January. We're already 3 months into it. You got 9 months to go. You guys can't wait 9 months. Just saying. And like I said a million times before as well, I made more money in crypto climbing out of the bear market than I made during the supposed bull market. So I'm ready. I am fully ready. Next, we got the rotator. When you pivot from silver into altcoins expecting fireworks and nothing happens, doesn't take profits, just rotates. I'm rotating. Always has to be in a trade. Quick 2x, I'll rotate the profits into my other bags. Has never held a stable coin longer than 10 minutes. Sell my winners and add to my losers. That's the way to do it, man. I believe. This also looks incredibly similar to me. Is the metals capital rotation into the crypto market finally beginning to unfold? Altcoins, gold, and silver erases $1.7 trillion of market cap in 90 minutes in one of the largest reversals in history. G Immortal said, yeah, Canary Capital Pepe ETF. That's pretty epic. Like, is that confirmed? US dollar timber. Yeah, DXY took a huge fall. And allegedly this is because the Fed is going to sell the US dollar, print and sell the US dollar to buy the Japanese yen. Prop up the Japanese dollar. So what's interesting about this, we talked about it earlier for any new folks here. This trend line goes back to 2011. This is a 15-year-old like legacy huge trend line for the DXY. So breaking below that would be pretty crazy. And we have been in a pretty tremendous uptrend. And obviously, you know, there was a downtrend there that we got ahead of. Uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. It's kind of maybe overdue for that breakdown. Who knows? You know, this goes back pretty damn far to the 1970s, 1960s even. Wow. So a break below this trend line might be in the cards, in which case I think the market's going to completely change because, like I said, 2011, Bitcoin was not born too long before that. And you could basically make the argument that the DXY has only ever increased since the inception of Bitcoin. What's going to happen if it decreases? You know, would that be the kickoff, the lit fuse for the potential super cycle that we've been hearing so much about? The Heat said, did you ever look at Don't token? Apparently a publicly traded company owns some as a test. Is it Dex Screener token, I'm assuming? Whoops. Don't. Disclaimer coin. Down 25%. Is this the one? Let me know if that's the one for Heat. We got. Jeez. There's Franco. Pretty epic. This is definitely in a downtrend. Disclaimer coin is an experimental coin, on-chain meme coin launched by DeFi Development Corp, NASDAQ, marking the first time in history that a publicly traded company has issued a meme coin directly on blockchain infrastructure. Don't is not a product, utility token, or investment vehicle. It's a real-life experiment in what happens when a publicly listed company engages with internet-native culture and infrastructure without traditional filters, intermediation, or hype. Unlike typical meme coins that launch with roadmaps, advisors, and aggressive utility claims, Don't intentionally has no roadmap, no advisors, no utility, and no promises. Its defining characteristic is its disclaimer, first identity. It literally tells users not to buy it, even as it exists openly on chain. That is not original.
It's original, obviously, for a NASDAQ traded company, but it's a very unoriginal idea. It's cool. I like it. Do I want to buy some? Yes. Am I going to? No. I've so far refrained from buying most meme coins on Solana as of late, and I feel like I've benefited from that. But eventually I'll be wrong. Silver, $110.94. We are so close. That bullish engulfing has to close at 111.1451 in order to gain bullish engulfing status. Bitcoin looking good, a little bit green. Next, we've got silver on track for 9 consecutive green months, which would be its longest winning streak in history. Epic. Gold to $27,000, according to Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki. Silver going parabolic as it soars to $117 for the first time in history. Jim Cramer told everyone to sell silver, and no joke, it instantly went straight up to $117, which is pretty epic. Jim Cramer said, "Silver can be sold. Your silver. Gold, do not let go." That's pretty adorable. Gold hits most overbought level in history after registering a 95 RSI on the monthly chart. You know what would be hilarious? If gold just plummeted and all of that capital rotated into silver. You know how funny that would be? All the gold people would be like, "What?" Peter Schiff would literally probably crap himself. Uranium jumps to highest price since October 2024. Darn, I'm not going to be able to buy any. CoinFashions posted, "I have lost my family's vacation money twice. I'm tired of disappointing my family. Stop playing with your family's vacation money then, bro." Just saying. If you can only DCA $5 a week, then only DCA $5 a week. It's that simple. And it can be that simple. That's all that it takes, man. Do not invest more than you can afford to lose. If that's your family's vacation money, use it for vacation. I'm just saying. I'm a different person now. We got another CoinFession. Have made 25x my previous net worth from before this cycle, though still not rich, and fully believe it's time to quit the markets. But I can't log off. She left a month ago, and I don't know what to do with myself. I'm a different person now, and I don't know what to do on a Friday night anymore. It's never too late, man. It is never too late. I'm just saying. This is crazy. If you bought silver just 4 weeks ago, you would have made more profit than someone holding ETH for the last 4 years. That is crazy and epic. I'm just saying. So much for the digital silver narrative, and also so much for the digital gold narrative. Gold's up 1.09%, silver, or Bitcoin, only up 0.28. Hopefully, eventually we recouple, but for now, we're kind of just sitting and waiting. Portfolio update: the 1K to 10K Grok portfolio down 549, 54.9%. Best performer Solana down $26 or 26%. Worst performer Aptos down $75 or 75%. Next we got the meme coin portfolio down 631, 63.1%. Getting a little spike there, interesting. Best performer here is Pepe down $92. Worst performers GigaChad down $174. Then we have the narrative portfolio, my favorite, and I believe the best performer in most cases. Might not be today, we'll see. This portfolio is currently down 219, which is, let's see, 219, 43.8%. Best performer here is Tau, by far, single-handedly propping up the entire portfolio, only down $20 or 20%. Worst performer is VeChain, down $63 or 63%. Then last but not least, we've got the knife catching portfolio, down 475, 47.5%. Best performer here is Chainlink, down $21 or 21%. Worst performer is Avalanche, down $66 or 66%. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. I'm going to end the poll. We got 7 votes on the poll. I said, who do you think will win midterms? 43% of you guys said the left. 29% of you guys said the right. 14% said both split. 14% said nobody. We're all losers. Who will be right in the end? Nobody knows. Gold up 1.17%, currently trading at $5,068.42. Silver up 6.41% on the day, currently trading at $110.52. Smashing every single record, every all-time high, just non-stop pumpage. Pretty cool to witness. Guys, Bitcoin is up 0.27, trading at 88,587.76 cents. Pretty quiet for a Monday. Now we do have FOMC coming up on Wednesday. This probably going to be a volatile week, so if you are a trader, keep that in mind. Be careful out there. Make sure you protect yourself, set stop losses. Obviously, don't gamble with more than you can afford to lose. All that stuff. If you guys are interested, we got tons of affiliate links in the description down below. I think I'm going to call it here. I've been going just over an hour. As always, guys, when the market starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Lunar Entity said, looks like silver made it to 100 before Bitcoin retook 100K. That is actually 100% true. It also went to 100 before gold went to 5K, which is funny because I did a poll on X the day before silver hit $100, and everyone said gold was going to hit 5K first, which is pretty epic. But anyways, guys, like I said, as always, when the market starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Share the stream with your like-minded friends and family. Anyone that wants to get into investing. We have a lot of fun here. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Smash the like button. And happy Monday and good night.